Hello, everybody. Ella J here on behalf of WrestleZone, and today I am joined by a fashion icon and, of course, 1/3 of the iconic trio of GAW TV, SoCal Val. How are you doing today?
Oh my God, stop it with those compliments. How
You're
dare you? You're
welcome.
so sweet. I'm doing great. I'm having a lovely evening, and I'm just happy to see your gorgeous face. How have you been, Ella?
I've been good. It's been a long day. I can't complain too much, I guess, though, because it's like 11 p.m. your time, but it's
Yeah,
been a long day, my friend, and I know you can attest to that too, for especially yesterday.
I sure can, and it's getting crazy. This is the craziest time of the year, I think, for anyone wrestling related. So I feel ya. Anyone content creating or part of WrestleMania or DressleMania or
Yeah.
anything. This is the craziest time of the year, but it's actually no problem to film late because that's how I do it with GAW. I'm up at like midnight, depending
Yeah.
on the guest availability. So I'm happy.
Fair enough. I feel you. It's about 7 o'clock here. It's about 11 p.m. there. So
Yeah.
I'm just gonna start off by taking a page out of your playbook. Start off by asking, who are you wearing and what are you drinking today?
I love that question. So I have definitely purposely put a headband on because we always talk about how much we love headbands.
Yes.
They have made a comeback. Thank you, Blair Waldorf, for originating
Yeah.
it. I'm sure she was the only one to ever wear a headband, which she should be. This is one of my favorites, actually, and you can believe it or not, it's from Primark. It was a pound. I would say $1, a
Oh,
pound. But the thing is, it's almost like wearing a little hat because
is
it's
it
so
like a
puffy.
Sherpa
It
like
is. It's kind of
fabric?
that like,
Okay.
yeah, so pleather, thank you to
Mhm.
the animals, and like that kind of like UGG material, cutesy.
Yeah.
And then I'm wearing Neon Rose. It's a company here that I go to Liverpool and I get all of their stuff. And I am drinking a lovely, very light Provence rosé. I'm very picky about my rosé. It has to be very light. When you hand me this magenta looking stuff, I'm like, I can't. So yeah. What are
So
you drinking and wearing?
I don't have anything drinking. It's been a long day. Like I said, this is my third show doing today, so I've had to stay in like this mindset of
Yeah,
soberness, as they
yeah.
say.
That
I'm
sounds terrible. No, I'm kidding, but good for you.
I'm wearing a headband just for you. Ironically, I actually just bought like 7 new headbands. I didn't even know I was interviewing yet. It just happened like that. So I
Universe.
I have a whole new collection of that from Etsy. This is from Shein. Oh no, this is from Amazon actually. It's just a new
Ooh.
oversized drop shoulder jacket and then a crop top halter thingy from
Yes,
Shein. That's
crop
about
top.
it. So
Yeah. Love that.
I was feeling the pink and white, pink and black today. So I feel like you've kind of got that going on too. You got the white, you got a little
I
bit
don't
of
know
red
why.
pink in your
Do
shirt.
you dress like that though? Like where it's like part of your mood or like kind of what you're trying to convey? Like I was gonna bring this top to a meeting I had yesterday. I just thought, you know what? I
Mhm.
don't feel very powerful in this top. I feel very girly and like, I don't
Yeah.
know, pink and floaty.
Well,
But I didn't want to convey that.
I felt like for you, I kind of had to be more like girly than normal. Does that make sense?
That's very sweet. Thank you for saying that. But no, you do you, boo. But yeah, for this, I was like, okay, so it's a female-led interview, and it's
Yeah.
about WrestleMania. It's about golf. So it's like I feel very like myself in this sort of
Yeah.
Barbie pink. Yeah.
You rock it. You are a
Thank you.
multi-talented fashion legend.
Thank you. It's so much fun for me. Like honestly creating outfits. Like that's sometimes why I
Yeah.
can't sleep. I'm like, oh my God, I bought a lime scarf and I haven't worn it with the lime boots yet. Like that's insane. Like I gotta
That's
write this
what
down.
keeps you up at night. That's the burning question that keeps SoCal Val up at night.
It's
That's
a
an
struggle.
exclusive.
It's a struggle. And I love putting outfits together. Like
Yeah.
when I leave the house and it's like, oh my God, I got my black and white boots on with a black and white beret. And like I feel like
Mhm.
changes my entire mood. It's so much fun.
I know, but like you said, we are here to largely discuss the upcoming GAW TV, your third annual fundraiser, DressleMania, which will be taking place in Hollywood, the site of this year's WrestleMania. So before we dig deeper into the event, can you kind of give the fans a preview of what they can expect from this year's event? It's kind
Yes,
of
for
had a
sure. And thank you
little
for
bit of
asking.
an evolution. It started out virtual,
Yeah.
last year I was lucky enough to be in person for it, but now you got the third time is the charm, I feel like.
I feel like it is too. I think it's going to be the biggest one yet. I mean, it has to be. It's obviously on the biggest scale yet. And only 3 years in, I'm like, how did we get here that Mick Foley is
Yeah.
hosting WrestleMania, which we'll get to in a moment. But so yeah, the first one was, and this is just an idea that we had, and we thought we want to do more charity stuff. We've talked about doing like charity of the month for God, whatever. We thought, okay, an annual charity event. WrestleMania was just too cute and adorable to like not have it go there, and having it around the time that we're all there for WrestleMania anyway, WrestleCon, things like that, who have been amazing to be our host, our location for the event. Same one as WrestleCon's the Biltmore Hotel. But the first year, you're right, it was a virtual event, and we basically, if you don't know what WrestleMania is, it was an idea that we had to kind of ask all of our girlfriends in wrestling, like, we all have to wear dresses for, red carpets or, a meet and greet or whatever. And even if it's not a dress, ring gear, if it's, for example, ODB donated some things that were not, dresses. It's to everyone's preference, but WrestleMania just means like event worn items. And we all have our own stores and sell things anyway. The first one was virtual. It benefited Girl Up, which is a female empowerment charity, and we raised almost $10,000. Just the second year, WrestleMania, we were in person at the event, and Ella was so lovely to be there. And we had some people that were so, grateful to be there and just donate. Even Tony, shout out to Tony LaRusso, who couldn't even be there and bought a ticket just to, donate his well-earned money just to, donate to the cause. But that was amazing. That was a lot of fun in Dallas. And it was fun for us because we did the whole cowboy theme, which is hilarious. And that charity, we try to mix it up every year, was for Tag Me In and NAMI, which we thought was a perfect fit because we had just lost Daphne. We wanted to honor her. And it was all about mental health. And then that year we raised over $10,000. So now this year, WrestleMania III is going to be at the Biltmore Saturday, April 1st, around 9 p.m. because we're going to do it right after the first WrestleMania day. Mickie, myself, and Lisa will be there with Mick Foley. And can I tell you like how this Mick Foley thing came about? Because I hope people know this and I hope we talk about it on the show.
You're literally reading my mind. You saved
Really?
me the time. Yes, that was a question. Go on. What prompted this decision to bring in Mick Foley as a special guest
Let me
host?
take a courage step. Hang on.
Okay. I'll pretend.
Because I am going to, I can't even look at you because I'm going to cry.
Okay.
Mick Foley, who is wrestling Santa, wrestling the biggest heart and, giving spirit in wrestling. Everyone knows that about him. We I think it was Mickie who reached out and said, like, can we just do, he had an event in the Biltmore.
Yeah.
And things got kind of confused with the time. So we kind of lost the room and we're like, oh, what do we do? And then she said, like, hey, can we just do like a half hour before your event or like a half hour after? We just need to like, have a little event. And he goes, what's it for? This is where I want to cry. So we explained what it was for. It's for childhelp.org, which, is an amazing organization. We have all the information on DressleMania.com and GAWTV.com, which leads you to their initiative and what they do for many, many years. A lot of celebrities help them out. And it's, against child abuse, child trafficking, and just amazing work that they do. And Mickie's been telling us about Child Help for years. So she's been a celebrity ambassador for them for, I want to say like 20 years, something insane. And she also has such a giving heart, as you know. And Mick Foley heard about what it was for and was like, and this is where I want to choke up. He was like, well, that's more important than what I'm doing. And what you girls are doing means more. And it's going to touch more people's lives. And gave us his entire event space and his entire time. He's, there's no one's making money at this thing. It's a benefiting child help situation. And he let us, not only have the room, but he said, I'll host it. And he also said, any year you want me to do it, I'll do it. So this man, who I saw him, he did a video for WrestleMania. I saw it yesterday. I was in London waiting for a train, and I saw it in Ella, hearing Mick Foley, who is such a wrestling legend, who donated his time and his money and just the entire event to us for this cause. Not just because he loves us, but he loves the fact that it's for children. When he was on camera doing this WrestleMania, it's going to be the biggest party. I put my head into my hands and I cried because it just means so much. You're
gonna make me cry again.
Honestly, girl, like I said to my husband, I go, I am bawling in the middle of a train station. Like it just touched me to like a point where I was like, this is just, how is this real life? That this event that was just an idea and we were like, let's give back, has become this amazing thing. And Mick Foley is just the best ever. And I knew that working with him in Impact. I spent a lot of time with him one-on-one because we just got along really well. We had a lot of similar interests. And he tells a story on our GAW TV show where I was sitting with him on a golf cart backstage at Universal Studios, and he was writing one of his books. And he was like, hey, Val, what do you think about this? And he was like helping me, like, well, asking my opinion about like proofreading it. Do you think it's gonna? And I was like, oh my God, what an honor. Just the most amazing guy ever. So the fact that he's on board for this huge Hollywood WrestleMania sparkly cocktail attire type of event that we always wanted to do, it's in part thanks to Mick Foley, obviously Mickie and Lisa. Thuzio's been an amazing help. Ad-free shows, Conrad Thompson, Fight TV, LA Weekly. People are coming out of the woodwork also to donate. We've got, Nikki Cross donated her Hall of Fame dress. Molly Holly donated her Hall of Fame dress. Giselle Shaw's donating. We've got Deanna Perrazzo, Kelly. Robbie E., even Robert Stone went in his probably mile-long closet and donated a pair of sparkly loafers worn on NXT. And it's one of those events where I hope people realize that it's not like, okay, it's an AEW event. This is a wrestling giving back event. That's really what WrestleMania is. And to see our friends come out of the woodwork with, hey, what else can I donate, has been phenomenal. And that also will make me cry, but I'll try not to.
You know what's funny is you're just like literally reading my mind. You're answering. I don't even have to even ask you stuff. But obviously you alluded to it. Like you said, all the proceeds from WrestleMania 3 will benefit Child Help. I know this organization is especially close to Mickie's heart. She's done a fundraiser for them in the past. I was actually a part of that. So can you kind of tell us more? You told us a little bit, but can you tell us more about Child Help and why GAW chose to dedicate all the proceeds to this organization specifically this year?
That's a great question. I think, again, this is all Mickie's doing. This year is totally a Mickie driven kind of a thing. And, you know, she, first of all, Mickie, I'm so close with, and I love her so much that anything that she deems worthy of giving back to a cause, I go, girl, you know, we all have the same mindset of, you know, what works, what doesn't. Plus, you know, it's hard with charities because every year we try to look for something and I go, you know, it has to be something that we know the people from, we know that all that damn money is going to go to the cause, right? Because that's scary when you get into charity work and things like that. I've donated to a lot of animal rescues, and then I realized, you know, I read later that they don't use most of the donations for the right thing. So that's really scary. So having this, it was a no-brainer because Mickie was so involved, you know, in person, like you said, doing the events, and she's known them for years. So that was perfect because number one, Mickie, you know, vetted them and she knows them, and she just was explaining how great they were. We have a video that we put on GAW, and if you guys want more information, of course, childhelp.org will tell you. The other thing too is, like, I think it's important for all of us. I don't want to speak for the other two girls, but I'm about to. It's important for all of us, like every year, to have like a different cause. And okay, so that, you know, they're all worthy causes, but we have to figure out which, you know, what works for which year. The first year, I think it made sense to do female empowerment because that's what, you know, being a grown ass woman is all about. And, you know, sisters helping sisters. And then the second year, it was just a perfect timing to talk about mental health and to get that conversation going and to donate to Tag Me In, which Christy Hemme and Scott Demore of Impact Wrestling and Gail Kim, they were all so amazing. I mean, Scott did, if you haven't seen the WrestleMania episode, WrestleMania 2, first of all, Chavo, again, you know, it's think of like girly stuff, but a lot of the guys have helped a lot too. Chavo was the first one to go, I am setting $100 bill down and I am starting the WrestleMania donations. And I, again, was so emotional because I am anyway, but I was like, that's so lovely. Then Scott Demore came on and talked about, he was so candid in his story about mental health. Giselle Shaw told her amazing story. So it was just a really great event. And again, it was to honor Daphne because we had just lost her, unfortunately. And this one, again, you know, children's charities, Mickie's a mom, you know, and she's told us so many great things about it. It's interesting because, you know, next year we can start thinking about what we're going to do coming up. And like Lisa has her own causes that she loves. For me, I would love one year to do an LGBTQIA plus community driven thing. I was just talking to Rye Levy, who is from Out in the Ring. If you don't know what that is, give it a goog. Oh my God, he's amazing. Doing so much for the community and just a beacon of positivity and inclusivity. And he's amazing. But I would love something in that genre. I also, you know, I'm a huge animal lover and dog lover. So ASPCA would be one that I would put forward. But it's nice that every year it's something that we collectively choose to donate to. And Child Help has been, even in my dealings with them recently, you know, putting up the auction site and, you know, sending them items and things. They're just the nicest people. My mother would say they're the salt of the earth. They're just lovely people. They're there to help. And it's been a beautiful experience to work with them.
And I'm so excited for this. I wish, of course, I could be there again. But,
I know.
You know, WrestleMania 4, you know, I happen to be the B in LGBTQ. So, I mean, so maybe it's meant to be for next year. So
I'm picturing you and I with a Philly cheesesteak. Pre-WrestleMania.
I will be in Philly. Like, that's just happening. I already have one booking out there, like even a year out. So I will be in Philly. I promise you that. I will be there. But like you said, GAW TV has promised to make this year's event bigger than ever. Like you said, you're bringing in Mick Foley. It appears there's some exciting entertainment planned as well. So can you kind of give us a little preview or hint of some plans for the entertainment? Of course, you know, last year we had a champagne toast.
We did. That's going to happen for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, but there's going to be all bubbles, no troubles. That's what you can expect at a GAW TV event in any capacity. There's talks of an act appearing, of not just a talking thing, but like a situation happening. But we went, that's what's so great about Thusio and WrestleCon. Everyone that's involved
Yeah.
is like they're helping us kind of just create this event. It's definitely going to be like an episode of GAW TV, like an interview with Mick Foley, me, Lisa,
Yeah.
Mickie, and we have a lot of friends lined up. And the reason that we're not telling people who exactly can come, they're for two
Yeah.
reasons. And I want to be totally transparent. Number one, we do like the element of surprise. We like that people could just stop by and like you never know who's going to show up. And again, it's not a they're AEW, they can, you know, or their Impact,
Yeah.
or their, that has nothing to do with the beautiful cause that we're supporting and what we're doing for WrestleMania. It is an event that is so inclusive and so, you know, anyone that wants to donate, we're happy to accept one of those types of events. So that's going to be fun for the surprises of our guests. The other reason is, and you know, no one at this event is there, you know, making appearance fees. So what we didn't want to do for the second WrestleMania and this one, again, trying to be super transparent, is we realize that everybody has so much going on that weekend. So we can't really say, okay, this person's booked, that person's booked, because no one's getting paid. It's all for the cause.
Yeah.
So we want to respect everyone's time and appearance fees and things like that. And it's just going to be a question of, hey, can you come by, whatever. And that kind of, it's interesting because everyone wants to come by, but who's going to be available will be interesting to see.
Right after Mania too.
Right after Mania,
it's a tough
yeah.
time
Like
with
last
LA
year,
traffic. Oh yeah.
that too, we're worried about that. But yeah, I mean, last year, you know, we didn't expect to have Chavo, Giselle, Gail, you know, everybody. The cat was there, who I love. I hadn't seen her in forever. Melina. It was just everybody that wanted to be involved, and it was just, and that's the beauty of it being at the WrestleCon downtown Los Angeles Biltmore Hotel, where they used to host the Oscars. By the way, this is a beautiful venue. Yeah. And we're very lucky for that. Again, it's just, like I said, it's this real life. This event is just shaping up to be exactly what we always wanted it to be. You know, the first year was virtual. The second year, there's I'm not putting the second year down, but it was just funny because like we're like a 3-woman show. And then thank God you were helping. My girlfriend Erin was there, my best friend.
Yeah.
My husband Alan was like helping serve the champagne. But it was like a little, like the little engine that could. And like I remember diligently, you know, Mickie was like diligently putting these like streamers up.
Yeah.
And Lisa was on the tables going, hey guys, I know this is a locker room, but we got to get you out of here. We're doing an event. So funny.
Yeah, we were blowing up the champagne tub and putting out the
almost I don't want to insult it, but it's a good story because it just means we all cared.
Yeah.
But almost like a kid's birthday party. We were like, what else can we do? And it was frantic. And I'm trying to get like people's tickets and I'm like at the door and, you know, so to have people helping us this year is just, that's another reason that makes me emotional is that they're, you know, Thusio, Fight TV, ad-free shows, LA Weekly. They're like, what can we do for you? And I'm like, oh my God. It doesn't have to be Mickie and Lisa standing on stools, you know, putting little balloons up. As bless their hearts. So yeah, we've come a long way, baby, and it's only the third year, and it's the biggest and best event that we're gonna have yet. And I'd love for you guys to be there. Ella, I wish you could be there, but if you guys can't and you're watching, DressleMania.com is where you need to go. So that's where you can bid on any of the auction items. You can get a ticket to WrestleMania, whether you go or not. We'd appreciate you. And there's a donate now button. Just donate what you can. Every little teeny bit helps. It really genuinely does. Because what I would love, knock on wood, is to have a grand total that surpasses the first 2 years. And you know, I was shocked we got as much as we did as far as the grand totals. Almost 10,000 the first year, over 10,000 the second year. When you look at that number, you go, oh my God, again, this was just an idea we had to try to like, let's get our friends to, you know, send some dresses over and then look. So that's thanks to the fans, honestly.
But obviously a big part of WrestleMania, like you said, is the auction of event-worn gowns and special attire. You will be putting your pink sequin cocktail dress up for auction. So can you tell us the story behind this donation?
So I will be honest, I have a closet and a floor-drobe that
you do. Floor-drobe.
Just insane. Yeah, because I'm the person that like goes, oh, I'll unpack later, and I just don't do it.
I still have my suitcase here from the Royal Rumble.
Girl, and the thing is, my husband is not a clutter person, but like I have so much stuff, and I shop very frugally, by the way. Not that anyone's judging, because you shouldn't be. Ew, that's not a good color on you if you're judging. But I'm saying I have a lot of stuff, but I was like, I want this WrestleMania dress to be something that, okay, I was thinking Hollywood, girly, and this pink dress. So I've loved this dress, and I always stress to people that like I also wore it in real life. So some dresses you kind of wear and it's like a one show thing. Love this dress. I've worn it on many a night out. I've worn it for Progress Wrestling. I've worn it for appearances, and I took a little photo shoot in it. And you can, I don't know if you have the graphic, but it is, you know, it's very Val. It's very Hollywood. It's a cocktail dress. And that's important to me to kind of have something that's very, very me. The first and second years, same thing. I wanted to find something that was important to me, and that if you get it, it's like, oh, I can totally see Val wearing this. It's very glam and over the top and extra and loud, because that's what I am and that's who I am.
Loud and proud.
Very. Which I feel even louder and prouder in the UK because everyone's like, they always say that about Americans, which is not nice to generalize, by the way. But it's like I'm very excitable.
Yeah.
Like there's a whole like, oh my, I don't want to get into it, but like the Hugh Grant Oscars thing, and then there's another thing with the guy from The Cure who was interviewed by a girl, an American girl on the red carpet, and I'm never ever apologizing to be that person that's like, oh my god, and like bubbly. I have no other speed. That's just me.
That's me depending in the scenario. I'm more so on the introverted side. I'm kind of in the middle, but there's certain scenarios where I'm like, oh my God, you know?
Yeah.
Like we all have that. That's obviously for you in fashion, especially.
Oh my gosh, yes.
But Trey brought up a good question because he knew I was interviewing you today. Obviously, you are all about fashion. So if you could have any GAW TV shopping spree with both Mickie and Lisa anywhere in the world, where would it be and why?
Where it's funny if you can this is how serious I take fashion and shopping. I was like, okay, let me answer this totally seriously.
Because you have to think about all three of you too, is the thing.
And
you all have like different styles.
I'm trying to think where the best shopping is. I mean, Orlando, I know like the back of my hand because I lived most of my life there. And I know this is so apropos for what we're talking about. And I'm not saying this just because of WrestleMania being in LA. LA shopping is ridiculous. And I love vintage shops, so I've shopped all over Europe. Like Paris has something. I went to Paris to a vintage shop, and there was a box that just said Valentino, and for like 20 euros. And I was like, what is life? What is this? So I mean, the vintage shopping in Paris is amazing. I was just in Amsterdam, found some great vintage stuff. But LA, and I'll tell you why LA. LA has a great variety of stuff. So you've got kind of like we would say in the UK, like they would say in the UK, like high street stores. So like your Express, your used to be BB, like those kind of chain stores. But then there's a lot of vintage. And the reason that LA is so good with the vintage is think about it. There's costumes from movies and film, TV, whatever. Yeah. And there's a lot of old school retro shops that have stuff that are, surplus from movie studios. For that reason, because I love retro and I love like different eras, but the 1940s is like where I would time travel back to dress like that. Also Mad Men era, but more so 50s, 60s got a little weird for me with the, it's a little not so me. But as far as the 40s was very like just the silhouette of clothing back then. If you look up the 1947 Dior New Look, you'll see what I'm talking about. So like because LA has so much vintage, Melrose is there. I'm definitely going back to Melrose. Santee Alley, which I hope is still there. That's kind of like a big flea market. I did my first show at the Anaheim flea market and bought a Triple H t-shirt as well. So like that's good. But LA, because of the variety and the retro aspect, and because they have so much surplus from movie studios, you find stuff that you're never going to find anywhere else in the world.
I'm curious with LA, obviously WrestleMania, DressleMania is being in LA, the city of stars, like you alluded to. What are your top 3 films of all time?
Oh, fun question. Oh my God. Number 1, Titanic. There's no touching it. Like okay, it's it's a 3.5-ish hour movie.
Yeah, that came out the year I was born.
97. Yeah. December 11th, 1997. I'm psycho about Titanic. I saw it 11 times in the theater. 11. When I like something, I'm like a hot and cold, black and white. Yeah. I either like love it to death and will defend it to the, nth degree, or I'm like, I could, take or leave it. I'm a very extreme person in that way. Titanic, number 1, untouchable in every way. Soundtrack, Kate Winslet. Why do you think I have red hair? Hello, I'm still trying to be Rose Dawson over here. Billy Zane, the actors, the story. It's the best movie ever made, in my opinion. Flawless. I will go with another one that's my favorite comedy of all time, which is Coming to America. I don't think anything touches that film. 40-Year-Old Virgin, Wedding Crashers, also very funny. Those are kind of tops for me. Coming to America, the best ever. And this might not surprise a lot of people, but I will go with not just one Harry Potter, but all of the Harry Potter franchises as well. It's hard because I love Star Wars, love The Mandalorian and Pedro Pascal. Oh my God. Mother may I. To Pedro Pascal, oh my God. What a babe. Yeah. I love Star Wars, but Harry Potter for me, and it's funny because I loved like everything British, the monarchy, the architecture, before I ever moved here. So that to me, because it's so British and because it's so fantastical and escapism and the music, it doesn't get better than Harry Potter.
I'm not, are you going to judge? No, you said you weren't going to judge. I've never seen Harry Potter. I'm not really like It's not really
Any
my
of them?
no, it's not really my genre of choice, to be honest with you. But
Now, like,
you
here's the
do
deal.
you. That's all that matters.
You can do you, but listen, here's my thing. If you don't want to enrich your life by watching it, that's cool. You can keep living that. That's fine. That's fine.
Now,
If
not
you
that
don't want to
I'm
improve
not,
yourself and enrich your life by the wonderment of Harry Potter, then I genuinely go, you okay, girl? You all right?
not that I know what any of the houses mean, but what house are you in? And can you kind of explain it a little bit?
I'm a Ravenclaw.
Okay.
And I always knew I was a Ravenclaw. Intrinsically, I did. And then I took my Pottermore quiz and was Ravenclaw. So Gryffindor is kind of the main cast is in Gryffindor. That's kind of like your, it's a little too predictable for me.
Okay.
Slytherin is like the evil. I hate to say, all the rich kids are there, and all of them like dress way better and are way cuter. Hufflepuff is kind of like it's kind of flippant. And like, granted, Robert Pattinson's character was a Hufflepuff, Cedric Diggory, but he was very good looking. Hello, and again, mother my eye. I know I'm a married woman, but I ain't dead. That was fine. But Ravenclaw has Cho Chang. It's got Luna Lovegood in there, and they're kind of intellectual, but like kind of a bit eccentric. So I would think I'd be in the one that was like a bit of a school nerd, because I do love history and learning and all that. So a bit intellectual, but also like kind of like zany, and there's an eccentricity there.
I can see that. Yeah, you have a lot of knowledge on not the fashion is unconventional, but like, you know what I mean.
No, it's a bit quirky. Yeah, it's kind of like my friend's analogy, where everyone thinks I'm a Rachel, but if you genuinely know me, you go, "Oh my God, you're such a Phoebe," because I am a weird person. Who else sees Titanic 11 times in the damn theater by herself? I was 11 years old or 12 or something. Yeah, it does sound weird now that I say it out loud, but
yeah, you would have been 11. You're 86, right? Yeah.
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 I mean, my mom would, I was safe about it, but like I go by myself. There's a little 11-year-old, like, I loved it. That's why I'm a Ravenclaw. We're weird.
Fair enough. Embrace your inner weird.
Let your freak flag fly.
Exactly. And like we were mentioning, of course, we were talking about LA. Fans also had the option to watch WrestleMania with GAW TV in the VIP suites at SoFi Stadium. So can you tell us more about that and what the experience is going to look like, or you hope it looks like?
Gosh, I am so excited. So this was so nice of Progress Wrestling, who I work for full time here in the UK. If you haven't heard of Progress Wrestling, you probably interviewed a lot of people from it. It's the biggest in the UK. It's the best in the UK. There, I said it. No tea, no shade. That's just the truth. And I knew that even moving here, it was always the biggest promotion that was just the most popular, whatever. And I'm thrilled to be a part of their team full time. They also have a Wrestle Tours is in conjunction with Progress Wrestling. So Wrestle Tours brings over people from the UK to go watch WrestleMania. I watched it last year with it was called Wrestling Travel then, but with that group, I was watching WrestleMania live on both days. So much fun. And it's funny because, again, when you've been watching wrestling as long as I have, and now, my God, it'll be my
21 years.
23.
23.
For me, yeah, I gauge. Well, that's not when I started watching wrestling. Okay. I gauge my wrestling anniversary, which there's my birthday, then there's my wrestling anniversary, and then there's Mania. So this whole time of the year is crazy. Okay. So my first show was on March 30th, 2002. And I always think of that. Like, that's after that, I was consistently doing shows, as many as I could get. And to this day, I'm still actively working in wrestling. So I kind of go, it's my own little weird thing. And I told my friend about it. She's like, that's cool. And I was like, well, it's kind of nerdy, but whatever. But 23 years in wrestling, but being in wrestling that long and watching wrestling for even longer, you do get kind of jaded. You kind of go, oh, I've seen everything. But WrestleMania brings out, it's impossible to not bring out that fangirl in me and everybody else. It's just as they say, the grandest stage of them all. And then the great thing for me is I get emotional. Like, I've never seen AJ Styles come out and not cried. I see AJ come out. I see Fergal, Finn Balor, everybody that I know and I'm so supportive of and that I love. And I go, wow, this is such a cool moment for them. And it just, there's that aspect too. But Wrestle Tours was kind enough to not only donate a pair of tickets to Saturday, which is available on DressleMania.com, up for bids. The bids are going high, so you guys better get in there. 2 tickets for Saturday, 2 tickets for Sunday, because we thought to ourselves, what if somebody wants to bring a buddy? Let's do a 2-ticket situation. Not everyone's like me, who's going to Raw at 14 years old, like sitting by myself, like behind a pillar, and I can't see because I'm, it's what I could afford. So 2 tickets for WrestleMania are up for sale on DressleMania.com through Wrestle Tours. 2 tickets for Sunday as well. But Sunday Fun Day is the GAW Suite. And you talk about sweet. This deal is so sweet, pun intended. that it's myself, Mickie, and Lisa watching WrestleMania with you. I will confirm there are a few other surprise wrestling guests that will be joining us in there. So just to sweeten the pot, can't reveal who yet. But there will be, you know, the three of us are there, and we've encouraged people to sort of like dress up, just like WrestleMania, you know, dress up.
Yeah.
Let's get a funny selfie. Let's get some photos. Let's talk about WrestleMania. And can you imagine a wrestling fan? I won't put myself into this category at all, but a wrestling fan watching wrestling, not just wrestling, but WrestleMania, the biggest of all time, watching it with the commentary of Lisa Marie Varon, Victoria, and Mickie James. People that have been in
I
WrestleMania.
wish I could be there just to hear your guys' hijinks too. It's gonna be.
And listen,
so
you
good.
talk about bubbles, no troubles.
Yeah.
You know, there's a bar, there's snacks. There, you know, I think that the later the night goes on, the more giggly we're gonna get. It's gonna be so funny, and we will hopefully be doing it again in Philly. So I'll keep you posted on that, Ella. But this GAW Suite Sunday, if you can pick a day, please come to both. It's gonna be amazing. But Sunday, because it's me, Lisa, and Mickie, it's just gonna be a little bit more fun, a little bit more sparkly and girly, and just to have their commentary of people that have been there, they've been in that ring, and they know what that's like. To hear their totally unfiltered, candid stories, invaluable, just amazing.
You know, you mentioned even being so jaded, you still get, as I say, giddy or fangirly over, you know, certain performers, certain matches. Obviously, it's a stacked card both days. We don't even know all the matches yet, but
Yeah.
as of now, is there any certain match or story you're most looking forward to seeing play out on the card? I feel like I know the answer, but maybe that's just because it's Mickie's answer.
Okay, do you want to tell me what it is? Or you want me to tell you first?
I know Mickie's answer would be Trish and Lita. You know, she's hoping that they're a night too so she can see it. Maybe you have a different answer.
I do. I mean, there's
Okay.
so many great ones, but honestly, I was excited to see Edge versus Finn Balor. That's a big one. I love them both, and I consider them both friends. I probably spent more time with Fergal than Finn than Edge. They're both friends, and I know it's silly because I mean they've done it several times now, but I still watch them and go, oh man, he must be so excited. This is so cool for him. It's amazing.
Hell in
Love
a
them.
Cell,
Love the stipulation. Yeah, and that I mean, and it's funny because a lot of these like scarier. That's not hardcore, but it's in that genre, I suppose. That, I mean, I'm such a crier that I get very worried. Plus, when you know the people, then you get even more worried. So I'm such a worry wart. Anyway, that's exciting. But honestly, Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley, I think is going to be incredible. Yeah, and I love both of them. I have been so impressed with Rhea Ripley. I think she's such a polished version of a tough kind of emo badass, if that makes sense. She's like an elevated version of that. She's so unique. And it's funny because I noticed that people love Rhea Ripley that don't watch wrestling much at all. First of all, she's hot as hell. Yeah. But other than that, like they just go, wow, she's got such an interesting look. And she has just an interesting way how she goes about things and her moveset even. But Charlotte Flair, of course, I have always, I love Mr. Flair so much. I mean, I could cry about that too. I love him so much. That's kind of the factor. But even just being a fan of hers, and I really, really am, I think she's just our generation's, I don't know, one of the best ever. And she's already iconic in my opinion. I saw her coming up in the NXT shows that were in Orlando. And I don't want to say, oh, I saw her coming up. Like she, you know, I saw her improving, but I just mean, it means more to me too. Cause I saw her doing smaller shows and now on this grand scale. And you talk about polished and flawless. This girl knows her fashion, knows her, you know, she's just very self-aware in the ring, I would say. And just even her entrance, I mean, I'm such a big fan of the entrances, let's be honest. She's so well-rounded as a performer. So for that reason, even I have met her, she's lovely, so sweet. But even if I didn't meet her, I would be a Charlotte Flair fan.
Yeah.
Girl.
Oh, I am. I've met her several times and I've seen her perform several times. I am a Charlotte Flair stan.
Yeah, no, for sure. And she's just, you know, she's that
yeah.
You know, some wrestlers have great in-ring skill sets, they have great talk, whatever. But when somebody like hers is the total package and can do it all, you just go, oh my God, let her go. She's just amazing.
I know.
Just Charlotte Flair. And she's pretty.
She is.
And her clothes are cute.
She does. I will say I could never pull it off, but I love the stuff that she's been pulling out when she has like just those promo segments. Like she's just she rocks it.
She's just, you know, if I was a little girl watching wrestling, I would want to be Charlotte Flair.
Yeah.
That's genuinely, I would look at her and think there's nothing she can't do. She's glamorous. She's she's my type of wrestler, man. She's just kind of like, you know, she's talkative and sparkly and great in the ring, and her facials are great. She's the total package.
Now, I have two more questions for you, by the way.
Yes.
Like you said, you've been somebody who's been deeply immersed in wrestling for over 20 years now. You're also a current presenter and commentator for Progress Wrestling. So are there any performers in the current landscape that you really find yourself being drawn towards?
Meaning on TV or kind of independence, or both?
I would say both.
Both. Oh, good. Let's just go blanket statement. I like that. It's more inclusive. I talk to people from Progress and friends of mine where I say, like, I would please don't ever expect it. I would never start my own wrestling company. God, I'm very busy. I'm very
It's a lot of work.
No, thank you. You know, yeah. So, but I always say, if I had a wrestling company, it's sort of how I gauge people that I'm fans of.
Yeah.
If I had a wrestling company, I would invest in a few people. I would go, they have to tick all the boxes, and the people I'm about to mention tick all these boxes. They look like stars. They conduct themselves like stars. They're great talkers. They're great in the ring. You know, aesthetically, they're, you know, that, and I'm sorry, but that is a big part of wrestling. You know, somebody that looks TV ready.
Mm-hmm.
More important than maybe any of that, they've got charisma and they're great with the fans. And very huge, they're easy to work with and they're nice, right? That's a big one. And that's why I say I would hire them, meaning it's not like I just saw them on TV, oh, they'd be great. No, I mean, like, I've worked with them and I've gone like, wow. People I put into that category, I don't know, I don't want to put them in any sort of level, but I'm just going to say a few. Joe Hendry, Impact Wrestling Zone Joe Hendry, who I've worked with many times in the UK.
I believe in Joe Hendry.
Just, you talk about a star. Oh my God, star from the making. Adam Cole. Adam Cole, just overall, I remember interviewing him, and we were talking before this started, by the way, about how you have tech issues sometimes, and I was like, oh my God, GAW, it always happens. It just happens when you're a content creator or whatever. It's kind of a silly term, but at least I didn't say influencer, but we'll say content creator. It happens with like tech issues. So one time I was interviewing Adam Cole in Vegas at an ROH show, and there was an issue with the little microphone we were using, and I had to ask him a second time to do the interview again. Did it the same, if not better. Even then, we didn't get the audio. Third time, had to ask him that.
God.
But I know this sounds really simple and whatever. It's not the only reason I'm picking him. I'm picking him because he's amazing on every aspect. Just the nicest guy, and looks amazing, and is incredible in the ring, an incredible talker, intense, and just a star. But even like the third time, he's like, yeah, just so easy to work with. No attitude, no ego. Confidence, yes. No ego. Adam Cole, chef's kiss, perfection. I would also put, I mean, God, Joe Hendry, Adam Cole. He had a different name when I interviewed him, but is it Killian Cross now, or is it Kevin Cross?
Karrion Kross?
Karrion, yes.
Yeah.
When I met him, I think he was Kevin Cross.
Yeah.
In Vegas, same thing, actually, the same trip. And I was like, you know, when you've ever interviewed anybody, you go, oh my God, they are just a star. Like, this is like a early rock promo. He's incredible. As far as girls, oh my God, I'll name with some of the Progress girls that I love, and there's so many of them. But Nina Samuels, who was in NXT, you talk about someone that's just made for TV, and you could just listen to read the phone book. She is amazing.
Great on the mic too.
Yeah, but we have so many good ones. We have Lana Austin, we've got Alexis Falcon, we've got Lizzie Evo. So many Rio. There's so many amazing ones, but Nina Samuels, to me, I was kind of a fan of hers anyway. Then I met her and I was like, oh my God, she's again ticking all these boxes. She's very TV. Another guy in Progress that I love, Spike Trevay, Charles Crowley. These are all people that if I had a promotion, I would go, I got to have them, you know, for sure. I'd also book the hell out of Grado because I love Grado. And I find him, and it's funny because not only is it, people love him anyway, but not only have I seen the star power, he's now doing so many acting roles that the world is seeing his star power. And it's like, this guy is money. He's money. Yeah. There's so many other ones, but I'll name those just to give you a few.
Interesting. So now we need to get it crowdfunded so Val can start her own promotion. Just saying.
Yes, please. It'll be California. I have to have some kind of stupid lettering, right? Because that's no offense. It's what everyone does. So California Wrestling Federation. So VWF coming soon. God, I'm kidding. You could be our backstage interviewer, Ella. You're hired.
Sounds good. I am here for it. I've worked with a bunch of the Progress girls already, so I'm down.
We don't pay. Down. I hope that's not a problem.
That's why you set up that's why you set up the crowdfunding. That's why I said that.
Perfect.
Exactly.
Donate now.
But I wanted to close out today because obviously all of this is coming together because of GAW TV. Obviously yourself, Mickie James, Lisa Marie Varon have come to form a very close bond. But I'm curious for you, do you recall your first impressions of each of them?
Oh my God, yes. Okay, that's a great question. Lisa, not as vivid.
Okay.
But Lisa came into TNA and she tells this story, which I remember this story happening. She tells this story on the show where she came into Impact. And again, this is like, Mickie and Lisa I've watched for years.
I know.
So when Sissy Hemi came in, I was like, are you kidding? Like, oh my God,
Like,
I know all these girls like back of my, I know what they've worn. I probably bought outfits to look like them, all of them. Some of them, many of them are still in my mom's house under my old bed. I have shoe boxes full of like their posters and everything.
Yeah.
I should take some photos so people don't think I'm lying because I have a ton of them. The Stacey's, the Torys, oh my God, such a fan. But Lisa tells a story. I remember this happening where she was going around and like shaking everyone's hand and being like, "Hi, I'm Lisa." And I think we always tell the story, and we all agree that it was probably Daniels because it's such a Christopher Daniels thing to do. He was like, "Lisa, you're not at WWF. You don't do that anymore. Like we're fine." Just trying to be so polite. And just, I mean, from the millisecond I met her, I was like, "Oh my God. This is my kind of girl." Just like we were just saying about being excitable and being bubbly. Like
that's Lisa.
And you talk about someone that like should have a reality TV show camera crew following them. I'll give you an example. When we started doing, and we do, by the way, on GAW TV, on YouTube, GAW TV, look it up. We have a YouTube membership, so we do exclusive videos. And some of the ones that Lisa was doing, I'm like, just do anything. Like, it doesn't have to be like a photo shoot or like something important. Just, she did a video where she was washing her dogs, giving them a bath. It was the funniest thing. And I always go, Lisa, I'm telling you, I would watch you do anything because it's Lisa doing it.
She doesn't realize how entertaining she is.
She's so, and no one is like Lisa. She's so unique and so original. So yeah, I remember that her coming into TNA. Mickie, I remember for sure. I was in this. They had like a weird catering room that we didn't usually use, and she came in, and I remember especially all the boys were like, "Yes, I will." And maybe I had never told her this, but I have never seen wrestlers.
They were swindling over her, weren't they?
Dying. I've never seen wrestlers before she even got there to when she got there that it was even funnier. I've never seen wrestlers swoon so much over a female that they did Mickie James, which is hysterical. And I don't know if I've told her that, but now I have, so she'll see this. But I remember thinking like she had a bit of a Southern accent. And I was like, I didn't realize she was, I know that's a stupid thing to remember, but I was like, I didn't realize she was so Southern.
Yeah.
And then now I always joke when she like says certain things like, oh my God, the other day, Ella, you're gonna die. Those was yesterday. She goes, yeah, my phone's on the fritz. And I was like, oh my God, Mickie, I'm crying in a train right now. I said, it's on the fritz. I'm like, that's such a Southern phrase. And and again, when I met her, I was just like, Mickie just radiates this giving, genuine, no BS, but in a lovely, beautiful way, spirit. And you know what's funny? My husband has met everybody in wrestling that I've ever come across, pretty much everybody, Mr. Flair, everybody. And he's like, out of all your wrestling friends, he goes, I genuinely think that Mickie is the most genuine person I've ever met. Like they had a couple moments, they were just here in the UK talking about some personal things. And he said this way before, by the way, but when he first met her, he's like, I just really get a good vibe. I'm like, I know. And I love that he can see that spirit that Mickie has, which loving Mickie and Lisa like I do would also make me want to cry because it's a different thing to, it's interesting for me too, if I can just talk your ear off. Moving countries, like people don't really get me sometimes over here. They're like, I'm this like, especially because we live in a smaller town. My husband's from a smaller town around here. I'm like a half hour north of London. So I'm kind of this shiny, weird parade float with the big red hair and the loud outfits. It's like, oh my God, hi. And that's me and that's who I am. But then when people don't understand me, and then like someone like Melina came into town once and Lisa came into town, people go, oh my God, they get me when they meet them because we're all sharing the same wrestling story and we're all that same personality that's just excited for life. You know what I mean? So it's nice to, maybe that's why it means a little more to me too after moving countries, because it's just like those are my people. And it's so nice when they come over here because people go, oh, I get you more now. I'm like, yeah, these are my gals. You know,
it's a real friendship too when you're like across the pond, across the ocean. It's funny because all of my like good friends now, except for maybe two, are all friends who are like far away from me now. I don't know how to explain it. So like I'm kind of in that same boat.
That's great though, and that is the power of social media. And you can complain
Yeah,
about it all the time, and I do complain about it. I'm on my phone too much, and then I'm on my Ring Watch because I go, or my Apple Watch, and I go, oh, let me put, like, I'm on the laptop. Let me close that. Let me go on the phone. Now I'm working. Okay, I'll put that down.
literally.
Screen time. Then I'm on my watch. So it
Yeah.
never stops, right? And it's tedious, but it's part of our job, especially. But yeah, that's what's great about social media is you can keep in touch. We all have Voxer. We keep in touch all the time. So when, like, it's been a day or two and I haven't heard back from Lisa or Mickey, I'm like, this feels weird. What's going on?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
it's great. Social media and apps in that way have really sustained a lot of my friendships having moved countries. Yeah.
Same, same.
Yeah.
But of course, before we let you go, can you please share where the people can find you online and all that fun stuff?
Yes, please. First of all, thank you for having me. You're an excellent host, as you always are, and I love you so much. But I will tell you, the main thing to remember from this interview is DressleMania.com. That's where you can bid, donate, do all of the things, as Mickie says, all the things. DressleMania.com, obviously Grown Ass Women TV. We call it GAW TV. Look it up on YouTube. For me, I'm on official SoCal Val on Instagram and SoCal Valerie on Twitter. Those links in my bio have my store. I've got my website, OnlyFans, all that good stuff. Which, by the way, I was bringing these to LA. I've got some new cards now that talk about my store and my
Oh,
OnlyFans.
you fancy.
I mean, it's nice to have some printed materials, and that's
Yeah.
getting me excited for LA. But I mean, I'm always online. I keep everyone updated, and I love to sort of. I have a little protective wall about my personal stuff, but I
Yeah.
like to really let the fans know that, like, hey, I'm here, I'm there, or you can see me in this town. So keep up with me on social media, and hopefully you're going to be entertained with
I saw
headbands.
I saw that WrestleMania is gonna be on Fight TV too.
Yes, it's going to be on Fight TV. So if you can't watch, or if you can't watch in person and be sitting there with us, you can watch all over the world thanks to Fight
Yeah.
TV. And I still do presenting for Fight TV, and they were, I've worked with them for years, so it was really a cool tie-in to see that we'd be on a network that I work with all the time. We did commentary for them for Impact, me, Lisa, and Tracy Brooks, who I also love. And Fight TV has just been an incredible partner, and definitely friends of GAW. But it's great that nowadays, like, a lot of our fans from GAW are from Germany, Australia, France. We never thought we'd have such an international audience. Because we do, it's nice that everyone can donate. Plus, you can watch it on Fight TV.
Yeah, like Val said, don't forget to tune in to WrestleMania airing on Fight TV after the conclusion of WrestleMania Night 1. Or
Yep.
you can go to WrestleMania for more information on DressleMania.com, including how you can get your tickets. Of course, maybe you want to hang with them too. During WrestleMania, there's that whole package that Val was talking about. But like you said, there's more information on DressleMania.com. Val, thank you so much for chatting with me today. It's been a pleasure as always.
Oh my gosh, I want to say it again. Why is this such an emotional interview? I could cry,
Because
but
we're
I am so
water.
proud of all
Aren't you a water sign too? Are you also a water sign?
No, I'm a fire sign, which means I'm crazy. But and I'm not gonna blame it on the rosé. It's just me. I'm just a crier. I want to say to you personally that I am so proud of all you're doing, and so proud of how you support women in this industry. And that's so lovely how inclusive you are, how open you are, and how supportive you are of women in the business. And I wish more people had your mindset. So proud of all you're doing. Wishing you continued success and all the love.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I wish I could be there in person, but Philly, got you. WrestleMania 40, I got you, Val. I got you.
Boom. I'll be there.